Welcome back, everybody, to Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast, where the hits are hard, the stories are real, and the leverage never dies. And today we've got a guest that brings the thunder. He's a powerhouse from one of wrestling's most iconic families, a former WWE superstar, a world-traveled warrior, a man who's left his mark on every ring he's ever stepped into. From headbutts to history, this guy defies intensity, and you know the crowd goes wild every time he walks down this ramp. So stand up, make some noise, and feel the heat. The Samoan wrecking machine himself, Samu, is on a Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. I appreciate you guys coming in, man.
Good to see
Appreciate
you.
it. Absolutely. So one of my first questions I ever ask is, and of course, I'm really encouraged by you. What was it like as a kid growing up watching wrestling?
Oh, we didn't watch too much. It was more of, on the job. On the road with my dad. Since I was a baby, in the '70s, they were actually just going from territory to territory. Back then, it was territories. I'm sure you know all about it.
Yep.
Yeah, but growing up it was fun. It was hard on educations because right when you got comfortable and you got into something, like they'd get upset or disagreement with probably the promoter or get a better offer someplace else, and it was always coming home from school and to a U-Haul in the front yard, so to
Wow.
speak.
Wow. So kind of like I see it as like a military reassignment. Every time when you come home, you see the U-Haul. You're like, oh, yep, Dad got another place to go.
Yep, yep, pretty much.
All right, Matt.
At what point in your life did you realize, holy shit, like this is my life. This like I am part of a wrestling fan. Like, uh, when did you when did the light bulb click? Be like, holy crap, this is what my family is. My family is wrestling.
Yeah, well, I started the hard way. Basically, I was in the streets of San Francisco. I was working out in Alcatraz, um, doing a young adult conservation corporation. It was an on the job training thing for the federal state parks and everything like that. So I went to visit my father one summer from there, and he was wrestling Bob Backlund, Madison Square Garden, and I got a peek at that check, and it didn't compare to what I was doing out there in Alcatraz. So I was like, this is I can do this here. So pretty much that's how I looked at it at that time anyway.
So training and mentorship. Who was some of your mentors other than obviously your father and your uncles? Your uncles. Who are some of your mentors and influences in wrestling, and how did they impact your career?
Man, there's a lot of people that helped me along the way. First beginning out was Great Kabuki. I'm sure you remember him. When I first started out, I was babyface. I was 16, 17 years old, and world class championship wrestling there with Von Erichs and everything. And yeah, I got a lot of help with Kabuki. A lot of the guys, Al Madrill, the Freebirds. A lot of people. They were close to my father as well, so they were looking out for me.
Wow, awesome.
In
Always
your
supported the Freebird, by the way.
in your early tenure with the WWF at the time, you you went. You talked about. I'm sorry, Anoa'i. You tagged with Hulk Hogan. What was that like? As far as like, because that was in '83, '84. That was at the height, like towards the height of his Hulkamania, like their first run. What was that like being around him at that point?
Oh, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I was happened to be. That's how I got into the battle royal. There, it was in Madison Square Garden that Anoki was in it, and I wasn't even supposed to be there. I was actually my dad was mad at me, told me to stay at the hotel because I couldn't go. So then I knew I could get in. So I just put my lava lava on and messed my hair up, and I went to the back door. They opened it up. They let me in. So I was kind of happy. I took a peek in the dressing room to, let my dad know that I was there. He gave me a dirty look, so I just figured I'd hang out in the hallway. So while I was standing there in the hallway, the battle royal was starting to go in. And everybody was going in the ring, and Vince McMahon, he asked me, he says, "You want to go in there?" And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah!" He said. So I wasn't gonna let him ask me twice. He said, "Go ahead." So I went out there. I had just a lava on. I was naked as hell underneath, and it was either do it or don't. So I went at it. Luckily, I didn't end up naked up
um, I loved seeing you and your cousin Rikishi at the Pensacon this last year, man. That was fun seeing you guys. You just, man, mad props to you because you just got out of the hospital.
there.
And no one thought you should be there, but yeah, Samu does what he does, and he shows up, and he is, you know what I'm saying. So, what was it like tag teaming with Rikishi back in the day?
Oh, it was good. It was good. I always knew it'd be good. We were playing around, teaching each other how to do moves on each other in my dad's backyard in Connecticut while he was in WWF at the time. And I had a chance to, after WWF, I had a chance to go to Montreal, Canada, and work in Dino Bravo, and was able to get Junior Fatu his first, Rikishi spot in there, but he was going to be a babyface, so I was the heel. He was babyface, but it was worked out good. He was just starting out, and he needed a good place to hone his craft, and that was a perfect spot.
Yeah, Matt.
So when I was doing my research last year, we don't have the clip, but in the Royal Rumble you appeared in, there's a spot where you went over the top rope and you looked like it had to have hurt. Where you got caught in the ropes with around your neck.
Mm-hmm.
What was going through your mind at that point? Like take us through that whole series of events. I guess would be the best.
Another day in the office, bro.
Wow.
That was just another night. I've done that many times. It's one of my favorite moves that I learned from Don Morocco back in the days in the 80s.
Okay. So what you're saying, it was
Thank you.
planned.
I'm glad you
That
like
was
it.
supposed to happen.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
That's wild.
I mean,
that to me is crazy, but that's pretty cool though.
Keep watching. You'll see me do it a couple of times. I did it on Hogan's debut in early 80s when he came back after the Thunder Lips gimmick. And it was me versus Bob Backlund. And my dad and uncle was outside the ring with Captain Lou. And they kept, distracting Bob while we were trying to have this title match there in Hamburg, Pennsylvania. And finally, Bob got tired of us. He went in the back, comes back out, Hulk Hogan, boom, there it went. That was the beginning of Hulkamania, basically.
Right. Man.
And while he was, making his debut, his comeback there, I did the Hangman right there too.
Wow. I watched that one time. I'm like, there's no way in hell that does that all the time because that looked like it wasn't. Yeah.
I didn't say it was easy. I almost lost an ear one time doing it. The rope's too loose, and the ropes just slide up. Almost took one of my ears off.
Oh wow!
So a lot of people know you with part of the Headshrinkers, and but I want to talk about Samoa SWAT team. Is there any major memories about the SST?
Well, when me and Rikishi left Montreal, we decided that it'd be good that we could, carry on after our father and uncle, and honor our tradition and our people, and become a good tag team. So we decided to form that, and back to Texas we went, and we ended up being the Samoan SWAT team, working good angles with a lot of people, Levon Eriks, Long Riders, just the list goes. Back in those days, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
We have somebody pop up. His name's Bo Johnson from YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, please, sir. He says the SWAT team scared me as a child. Did you get that a lot, Samu?
That was my job. Yes, that's good. I'm glad to hear
it. See,
I mean,
I tell my brother every week. I'm that as far as the heels are supposed to either A, scare you, or B, piss you off. And if they do both, hey, that's great.
Uh-huh.
That worked.
But
So,
my question for you, as far as the Samoan SWAT team, running with Paulie Dangerously, or Paul Heyman now, at the early stages of his career, what was he like in that environment, like that early? Was he like he is perceived now, or was he a little bit different?
Well, I mean, we were all out there. We were all learning. We were all. I mean, this business, you never stop learning. Let's face it. If somebody says they know it all, then they're lying. They don't. You never stop learning. Everything changes. Everything can be adapted. Paul was always a pleasure to work with. You always knew that he had a brilliant mind for business, and he wasn't afraid to express it. But we had a lot of good times together. I'll always remember the times that we shared down in WCW working with the Road Warriors and whatnot.
So I was watching a clip.
Steiners also, Road Warriors, Steiners. Those were our good. They were our style, No headlocks and stuff like that. It was like, let's get to it. Right?
Did any of your matches turn into a shoot match just because you wanted to shoot fight?
No. 80% of our matches we were shooting on each other anyway. I mean, we'd knock the shit out of each other, and there's many times I knocked Joe down and come on, get up, because I can't yet. so we'd give him time, and that goes back and forth too. Hawk would get me sometimes, that's just the way it goes. But we didn't complain. That was our style. We liked it like that. And not many people. A lot of people complained. Some people didn't. A lot of people, but like I said, like the Steiners and the Road Warriors, it was the same style. So it was like, and nobody's seen for a long time anybody that could stand up to the Road Warriors at that time. So we came in fresh from Dallas and ready to rock and roll.
Well, I asked that question to ask this. I seen the video of you, the Undertaker, and you in a match, and you received a headbutt by Alpha. And what was that about? Was he just telling you, "Hey, man, shape up"? Was it a dad thing, like get your head back in the game type thing?
Yeah, instead of slapping somebody to wake them up, my dad's style is headbutt him, knock the shit out. Hey, it worked, man. It worked.
I used to have I had a grandma Maybank. We called her Grandma Maybank. And she, on a regular basis, if you made her mad at because you did something to her daughter, her kids, she'll grab a hold of your ears. And this woman had a massive forehead, and she gave you one hell of a headbutt. I'm like, so I assumed that's what Alpha was doing to you. It was like the dad son thing, like grandma, yeah. So.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Tough love.
Yeah. So I just lost my question. You had a match with hold on. Go ahead, Scott. I gotta find my stuff.
Throw up another question from
Matt
in the chat. Who hit harder, the Road Warriors or the Steiners?
Oh man. I don't know. They're both pretty, but the Road Warriors is more like a bat mountain. The Steiners they're right in there, but they're aggressive in different ways than the Road Warriors were.
All right.
Like they'll pick you up and drop you on your head, and you don't even know how you got there. And the road warriors, they would just knock the shit out of you, and you'd return the favor, and it was just good times at that time. You guys gotta forgive me, man. I've been through a lot here lately.
Before you came back to WWF in '92, you spent some time with then, well, your cousin Rodney.
Mm-hmm.
Um, before he became Yokozuna, what was it like working with him and traveling with him and between the two stops you guys had?
Oh, it was good. It was always good times. I mean, we started from back in Pensacola. We started wrestling for a company called WOW. It was WO, that was World Organized Wrestling with Rip Tyler. And then we had a chance. Rod got us back in Japan, and we tagged up over there. I was lucky enough to tag with pretty much all of my cousins at one time or another. And yeah, we went to Japan and we hit it big over there. I mean, it was like we were going every couple of months, almost every other tour. And that was a big thing. I think that had a lot to do with us to go from there to WWE because Vince just wanted us out of there, I think, more than he really wanted us. And we had a tryout date, and Yoko at that time, Rodney, he was also doing Mexico. So he went down to Mexico, got a cut on his leg that got infected. So Yoko and I were supposed to be the Headshrinkers up in WWF.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and he couldn't because of the cut on his leg. It was infected at that time. And Rikishi just happened to be there. He was sleeping under the table. And we were like, well, don't close the door on us. Let us. I said, me and Rikishi, we still have a package here that, that's deliverable. And we had already did the Samoan SWAT team at that time. So we already know each other like the back of our hand. So we got our tryout, and the rest was pretty much history. We got signed that day. And yeah, there was the Headshrinkers. They wanted us to be the New Guinea Headhunters, which we were, why? Come on now.
Yeah, that
So
wouldn't go right.
Headshrinkers at them, and they bid onto that, and luckily. But it wasn't supposed to be such a serious tag team, I feel. So I feel we brought a different element to that, and held our own in the meantime.
So where did the names the SWAT team name come from? The small SWAT team. Where'd that come from?
Dallas. When we left Montreal and we went down to Dallas, we came up with it down there.
Okay.
Michael Hayes and us was throwing things around, and we came up with the Samoan SWAT team, which was good because then we had Buddy Roberts as a manager as well, which that was off the hook. Alcoholic, he played the alcoholic, and we wrapped him in lava lavas, some more food, beads. We had a lot of fun with Buddy, and then we had a lot of creative control there too. So we just got over it. That's what they wanted us to do. So we did it, and it was a lot of fun. And then we got signed with Crockett. Crockett came up, and we went and had a meeting with him, and he wanted us in Atlanta. So we gave our notice to World Class, and we went down, followed the Freebirds down to Atlanta.
Okay.
No one on our way because it was like a month hiatus until we had to go. So in the meantime, before we got down there, they sold the company to Ted Turner. So now the new booker, Jim Hurd, apparently bullshitting, didn't know we were coming. So we got down, we done gave up the belt and gave up our place up in Texas and got down there to what we thought was going to be a good job, making us good money. And they're like, we didn't even know you were coming. So it's like, all right, here we go again, back down the road. So I was like, listen, I said, let us go out there. Let us get over. If we don't get over in 2 weeks, then we'll leave. If we do, then if we could talk a contract. So the next week we talked. We got our contract.
Awesome.
So it was a good time, and that's when we got in with Paulie, Oliver Humperdinck.
Okay.
And, just good time.
Good deal. Good deal.
Now, throughout all your travel that you've done just globally, what arena was your absolute favorite arena to perform in?
I like Boston. Boston Gardens was always nice. Uh, Pittsburgh as well. Philadelphia Spectrum. Uh, yeah, Boston Gardens. Wild.
So
That's where all the pretty much heel fans are. When you go over there, they like the heel.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It's a different type of fan between there and the rest of the places you go.
Yeah. So memories of the night at NWA TV when you handcuffed Hawk to the steel cage and beat the Road Warriors down. What was that? That was pretty serious and nasty.
Yeah, yeah, but a man's got to do what a man's got to do. So we're there to get over. We had a lot of good times and good propositions and working other guys, Midnight Express example. But we wanted to go up there because our style and nobody was working with the Road Warriors like we were. I mean, we were doing cage matches that were just off the hook. I don't even know if we could. I haven't seen any of them, but they were some wild. We did a good run with all cage matches every night, and that was like the end of WCW at that time. With Ted Turner,
Yeah.
and yeah, yeah.
That match is on TV on the YouTube channel. I watched it like a month ago, and I was like, holy hell.
Cage match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I love hearing stories about guys ribbing each other and that kind of stuff. Is there any stories of the ribs backstage from anybody that you were either a part of or just seen happen that you are able to share with us? I just love to hear those kind of stories.
Never. I know nothing. Uh, yeah, there's too many. I mean, Smoking Guns, Billy Gunn and Bart, when they came in to the Fed when they first came in, and they were going out with us to different places when they tried to hang with us. Uh, we'd have like 100 shots of Jack Daniels lined up at last call, and they'd be in on it, and they would not even make it halfway through. We'd have to drag them to the car before the shots were even done. Um, so one time I had to take their car, drive them. They were in it, so I drove them to the hotel that we were staying at. Turned the car sideways, right in front of right where the office is, and just left them in there and sleep. Just got back and went in my room and left them laying there. So they thought they were all mad. So they tried the next day. They tried to take the seats out of our rent-a-car, but we caught them. So the funny part was the revenge because Fuji was riding with us because we had to take care of Fuji at that time. So it was us, Yoko, and me and Fatu and Fuji. We got to carry his bags because his knees were all bad and everything. But Fuji had some good ribs, like super glue your wrestling boots to the ceiling and shit like that. Put a padlock on your padlock your boots to whatever. So this time, Smoking Guns to get them back, Fuji gave us toothpicks to go in the rent-a-car. At that time, they don't have all the remotes all the time. So you stick the toothpick in the car, smack, and break it off into the lock, and they couldn't get into their car. So that's just one of many. I mean, there was a lot of ribs that you have to wait for my book.
Yeah.
Now,
Interesting.
you bring up Fuji, and that's kind of one of the things I wanted to ask you. Is there any truth to the rib that he had someone remove a engine from someone's rent-a-car while they were inside the building? Is there any truth to that, or is that just urban legend?
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. There's a lot of stories I hear like that. Maivia, Morocco, Fuji, pulling over at the rest area. The guys, the young guy, the new guys driving them. Uh, they pull over at the rest area to get something to eat. fill up the car. They go inside to get the restaurant. Fuji stays back, tells the guy, put 4 new tires on this car for me. So the guy's like, okay. So we go in to eat. They come back out. 4 new tires. They're trying to charge the new guy for a set of tires. Yeah, I believe that. I believe it, 100%.
So we're going to talk about Paul Heyman again, right? So is he any different when he was with you guys when compared to the storyline that he's in now with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and all the Usos up there? Is he a different character up there now, or is he the same dude?
He's the same dude, but I mean, his craft just got better and better and better. He's he could talk like no other, and he's great at what he does. I mean, like I said, the bottom line is you got to get your heat when it's there, and he knows how to do that, and it's proven.
Now, you guys, you and Rikishi had the tag titles for a little bit. What was the mood like when they told you guys were going to drop the titles to Shawn and Diesel at a house show?
The day, I mean, it's always it always happened, but at that time I was going through a bunch of things with the office, issues that we couldn't come to an agreement on, and so I was like ready to walk, but at the same time I didn't want to cost any of my my dad was the manager at that time, my cousin was there at the time. I didn't want to cost them their livelihood or anything like that, but at the same time I was going through back issues with sacroiliac. I was working with a fractured back, so the sacroiliac was fractured for a while, and just after the disagreements, and I felt that we weren't appreciated for as hard as we were working, and I just felt that it was time for me to go. So,
Okay.
Then, yep.
I'm going to ask a question. I don't know if it's you can tell me I don't want to answer that question. But I want to ask the question. So I had the opportunity to watch a podcast that had Rikishi on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just here recently, right after Jey Uso lost the title after only 51 days. Was that complete shoot? Was that like, and you guys, is that how the Anoa'i family feels that Jey got hosed over? Because Rikishi was pretty adamant about his feelings. So is that a true
You
thing?
feel the same way, that's his son. I do the same way. I mean, the thing about it is we know the business and we just don't see the rhyme or reason. So that's upsetting to know that a company like this could be heading in the direction that, with where are you going with this? It's like, and then to not pay homage, as well. I mean, you already gave it to him. So, it's not his fault, creative or whoever it is. Can't come up. I mean, don't say it's not over. The self-explanatory there. Um, yeah. No, I agree with him. I agree with him in the way he feels, and I feel the same way. If it was my son.
Now, do you have, back when you were wrestling, so we talked about creative, did you have more creative control over what you guys did as the Headshrinkers and the SWAT team than they got over here right now in the WWE?
No. The Samoan SWAT team had a lot of creative control.
Okay.
The Headshrinkers, we just did through our work, we could express ourselves. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Out of all the tag teams that you weren't able to compete against and work with, what one would, going back and looking at the ones that you missed out on, what specific tag team would you love to have worked with?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, there's guys that we have worked with, like Rock and Roll Express, that I wish that we had more time to work with it, but we'll always met just in passing, not able to run an angle or do things like that. Um, I mean, there was a lot of teams that are night and day compared to the road warrior. I mean, we wrestled like guys, the Invaders. I don't know if you remember back in the day, early '80s, Jose Gonzalez and then from Puerto Rico over there.
Yeah.
Those guys, it's just different styles. Everybody's different. I mean, it's different, and I like the hard hitting, no nonsense uh, type of workers. So yeah, so that brings us back to Road Warriors, Steiners, and the Moroccos, the Snukas. Um, a lot of guys, man.
So on the opposite end of the spectrum, a tag team from this generation, who do you think the Headshrinkers would have a tremendous, just barn burner of a match? If you guys are you're in your prime and they're in their prime, and you guys just have an absolute banger.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Um, true. I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to actually work with the Usos because I mean not because that we're family or anything, but just because I love their style, and I think that the things that in that match that could have come be brought out to the table, we could have had some fun with that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't keep up, so I don't
Okay.
know.
So the chair behind me, we met in person. I appreciate you doing that for me, and that came from the tribal. I wasn't tribal court Monday Night Raw, the Monday Night Raw 30th anniversary, right?
I don't even remember.
Okay, all right. Well, anyways, so you were at that event, so
I
it
think
must
that was what was that? A Raw anniversary.
Raw 30. Yeah, I think it was the
30th,
30th. Yeah,
anniversary. Yeah, that's right. You're right.
yeah.
Correct.
So, what was that event like? I mean, I think that was a tribal court, supposed to be the tribal court. It must have been awesome just sitting at ringside, watching your family and being the main stage of WWE. Still are. How does that feel as a dad, as an uncle, kind of watching your family out there doing what
Oh, I
you
was
guys
very
did?
proud. I wasn't there, but I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the kids and watching them. I mean, I watched them grow up, and I just just watching them in the ring growing up. You just knew that once they get up there, that was what was going to happen, and just watching them flourish was a proud moment for the family. Still are, still are, and now we even got Jacob Solo and Haku's kid.
God.
Please come on.
Oh,
I will tell you this, Jacob Fatu. If I have to say anything about any of the Anoa'i family,
Right.
that boy is ridiculously good for his
he
size.
Yeah.
he is what he says he is. He is all gas, no brakes.
Hmm.
Watching
Oh
him
my
do that,
God.
yeah. So
Just hope he takes care of himself. I don't want him walking like me when he gets older.
right, right.
So I
Man.
got my son all the time, waiting for my
So
son to get there too.
Yes. So you and I have chatted on Facebook and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
you mentioned your son. Is he? How close is he, or can't you say really?
He's getting close. He's the doctors have given him a couple more months, I think, to
Okay.
wrap it up, and it's good. It was a long overdue injury that he had fixed before, but not by the right people. This time, he's with the right people, and we're confident that he'll make a successful comeback here in the very near future.
Awesome, man. Matt?
um one more, Scott. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just asked, what's your thoughts about you, Samu, becoming a member of the WWE Hall of Fame? And if that happens, who would you want to induct you into the Hall of Fame?
Oh, no doubt, my son, or my cousin. Uh, but I'm content. I'm content. I know what I did in my career. I know what I've accomplished. I know where I've been, how many times I've been there, who I've worked with, and I've had a lot of things going on lately that where I'm just appreciating life and taking all these memories. It's all about making memories for me now. I have grandchildren. I'm down here in Florida. I'm able to have a second, third chance at life again, and I want to teach my grandkids how to fish and how to make memories and love one another. And that's what it's all about for me. So Hall of Fame, sure. Who wouldn't like to be in the Hall of Fame? But I'm content. Like I said, you know, my love's with my family.
You talk about family. We're both dads. We're all three of us are fathers. Watching Roman and Jay and all those guys, Jimmy, all those guys grow up. What kind of just out of curiosity, what kind of kids were they? Were they goofballs? Like what? Like did they get into any mischief? Like what? Just what? Have any memories of them just being goofballs?
Kids are kids, but they play hard. They played hard. They always are very close. Joe's so proud of him and the accomplishment that kid made. I mean, my gosh. I mean, the hurdles that he jumped before he even started wrestling, and then to be able to achieve what he has and accomplished in our business in the short amount of time that he's been, shoot, you know,
Right.
Joe's the man. Joe's the man. He's on another level.
Yeah.
He definitely is. So WXW, you're living in Florida now. WXW was Alpha's baby over there, and you hear stories about that how WXW was his life for a whole lot of people. The way he trained, the way you guys trained, the way you taught. You hear stories from all kinds of people that are from WXW. So we've talked before about WXWC4, and you did some training. I don't know if you do training now, but out of the kids that you trained and brought up, is there anybody that we ought to be watching out for?
Oh yeah, there are a lot of kids that's come through. Ace Ace Austin. I don't know if you
Yep.
know him.
Yep.
He's was with TNA. He came to me when he was like 15 or 16 years old.
Oh
He
well.
started from the bottom. A very humble kid. I love that kid to death. He's a perfect example of what's good for this business. Um, Electra Lopez, she came from Maine, and
Okay.
she also trained up in New Jersey as well. But she came to me as well when she was 18, and it was the beginning, getting them used to the ropes, teaching them how to bomb, and yeah, I'm very proud of them. You see a lot of kids that have it and they don't believe in themselves enough, so they end up quitting, and you hate to see it sometimes, but because they what they brought to the table, and it's not for everyone, I guess. Especially if you're in a relationship, being on the road all the time, especially if you get hired full time. We our circuit was like 17 days on, 3 days off. It's really hard on the family. Out of those 3 days, you got to fly home, take one to fly home. Then you can rest, wash your clothes, wash your butt. Then it takes the other one to get back to catch up to everybody else. So it's really hard on the family.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
So we're called Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. What was, and we love our moments. What was your absolute favorite or most memorable moment of your career in through your eyes?
Being able to tag team with my dad and my uncle at a young age in Madison Square Garden, Andre the Giant, Jimmy Snuka, and I believe it was Rocky Johnson.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
just matches like that was awesome time, especially learning.
There it is.
There we go. There we go.
There it is.
All right.
Memories of working with Roddy Piper, man.
Oh, I love Roddy. Yeah, he's a good kid. Good guy. He took me under his wing there a little bit. I get to follow him around. I took it upon myself to follow a lot of guys around. First time I rode a train, I think we was with Philadelphia to Boston, and he's like, "Come on, kid, let's go this way." So yeah, sure, let's go. But not as far as hanging out. I was young back then. I was only like 19, 20. And they were much older than me, but like I said, I was wide-eyed, like a deer with the headlights, a sponge absorbing everything I could.
That's right. I think you do it. You have to in this business, right?
Oh yeah.
So this question comes up on this our little chat here. I'm not going to ask it until now. I have two off the wall, non-wrestling related questions. Bear with me. So the first question is, what hurts more, a chair shot or stepping on Legos?
Well, Legos.
Uh,
I don't know. It depends who's throwing it too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
But
now
even though I don't care, I'd rather take a chair from anybody than.
because the Legos just are pop up randomly. You don't know where the hell they are, and you step on it. And that's what I think what hurts the most.
Well,
So
you're
this
talking
question-
to someone that did my whole career barefoot. So
Yes, there you go.
from the ice rinks in Montreal to the beaches of Waikiki.
There you go. So here's the question: do you like pineapple on pizza?
No, I can't say no. I don't know. I ain't tried it, but it doesn't sound right.
it doesn't sound right now.
No.
Now, there is one that I steal quite frequently. I'm from social media. There is another podcast that I am a big fan of. They are the Botch and Chair Shots podcast. And Will Gray over there loves to ask this question. And again, this is non-wrestling related, and it is probably the weirdest question you will ever be asked. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
He's a hot dog or salmon. It's scrambled eggs, fried chicken.
That is the best response I've ever had from that. Thank you for that. I love that. That is amazing.
All right. You mentioned fried chicken, so I wasn't going to ask this question, but I have to now. Okay. There is a rumor that, well, first of all, I know this to be true. After at WXW events, your dad would throw one hell of a barbecue in his backyard. I heard about these barbecues.
Mm-hmm.
There's
That's not just my dad. That's been passed down from generation to generation to generation. Okay. And I am the new,
the new barbecue guy.
Yeah,
I heard.
We all barbecue, and we all.
I gotta make sure I get her name right because I don't want to.
If you ever get a chance, get you a plate.
Well, you need to let me know when you're doing another barbecue in Pensacola. You bet your ass I'll be down there to get a plate.
3 times a week we're barbecue.
All right, I'll text you like on one weekend here after school starts. I'll say, "Hey, you have a barbecue?"
I might need to get myself a plane ticket.
You know how we do.
I know. So Ashley Hartley, one of office students. I don't know if she was your student, but there's a rumor that somebody burnt the chicken.
Oh, I have no idea.
No idea? Okay. All right. She's safe then. I guess there was an incident at one of your dad's parties that the chicken came out burnt, and he was not having it. He was not happy.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Who left her in charge?
I have no idea. I think that's what your dad asked.
The guys should do the cooking, especially at the barbecue. The guys should do the barbecue.
So,
it's more on culture. The guys do most of the cooking anyway.
All I'll have to take you up on it, man. You're gonna get a text message that goes, "Hey, you having a barbecue?" I'll bring my foster kids down to your house to have a barbecue.
You'll know when it's hot, and you just stick your nose towards the cantonment.
So
it draws many people's.
one of my buddies wants me to ask this question. You've worked with the Steiners many times. What's your thoughts on Braun Breaker following in his dad's footsteps?
Oh yeah,
Have
I
you
love
got
it.
a chance to watch him? What's your thoughts on him?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I just see his dad in him, and I see the matches that these guys are going to be able to have. Like I said, that chemistry. It's the same chemistry. Jacob, for instance, and Braun, they have the same chemistry right there. You put them two together, you're going to have a nice match. That will be yeah. I'll watch that one.
I have two more questions. That's it. So and they're really simple. What do fans often not understand about your journey or the wrestling lifestyle?
Say it again.
What are things fans
Oh,
often misunderstand about your journey or the wrestling lifestyle?
Misunderstand. I don't know. Um, no idea.
Okay. And basically, you've been through some help.
What is misunderstand? Understood. What is misunderstood?
What are fans not
So
believe
we
is
mean
true? What don't fans believe? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. If it comes to us, we're believable. I feel we were our whole
Right.
time. That's why you say how to scare the shit out of people. It's because
Okay.
they
You wouldn't know
believe.
that. Yeah,
They
that's
believe.
fair. Yeah, that's fair. And man, my last question is: you've been through a lot in the last year and a half. Family issues, your health issues, and how you feeling? And are you going to be at more conventions? Is that what you're doing nowadays? So what's Samu doing?
Yeah, I do. I do those conventions, Comic Cons, once in a while. Mostly, like you said, I just had a triple bypass in February a couple months ago. Feeling a lot better now. Can realize now how bad it was. I didn't realize I'd go fishing. I'd get tired, just throwing the damn line out there, and I couldn't figure it out. I said, "This getting old shit sucks." I thought I was getting old, and after the heart surgery, that wind came back, that clearance came back. The blood started flowing, and it's going to your head, and everything is starting to come back around. So, um, I'm just like I said, memories, make all the memories you can, because you never know. You never know. Sorry.
You're
I'm
good,
gonna
Matt.
my only I didn't. It's not a question. It's just a statement. I want to thank you for the memories, for because you were on. I mean, you were my childhood. Not gonna lie. Like growing up watching you and your pops and your uncle, they you guys were a large part of my brother and I's childhood, and I just want to say thank you for being an amazing athlete, a a great entertainer, and just putting your life and your body on the line every time you step through those ropes. I cannot say thank you enough for being an amazing, just amazing performer.
appreciate you, Matt. Appreciate you. But there's nothing I wouldn't change. We'd do the same thing all over again if I had the chance. We had a lot of fun doing it. We met a lot of good people. The fans are unbelievable, and look forward to still entertaining them through family. So sit back and enjoy the ride.
I'm gonna echo Matt. I'm gonna ditto him. I Never in a million years. Like you said, we watched you on TV. You were like that guy, those guys. We want to watch them, right? And then when it so happened, I bought that chair from you, and you were so nice enough to say, "Hey, I'll meet you at this park."
Right.
And for me to hear it from a professional was like, "Oh, okay." It's you showed the generosity, you showed the love, the family. You lived the model that your pops set in place, and you could tell through you and how you talk to us. You chat with me on Facebook. I say thank you. I appreciate your heart. I pray for your health. I appreciate the skills that you taught the kids that you brought up through the family. You guys are an example of what I think every family should model because you guys are to get it's togetherness, and it's shown through your social media. It's shown through talking to several. I've had several WXW stars on the show, and they talk the same way about you, your dad, and your uncle, and Ricky, all those guys. I say thank you for setting that example. You were taught well. You're following in their footsteps, and it's amazing to see. I thank you for coming on the show. I
I'll do that. You know that I like to think the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. You know what I'm saying? So, and I hope that the same will be with my son, and it already is. You know, so I'm already happy and proud dad of his accomplishments. And keep your eye out for him down at NXT.
all right. I
And
will.
you know, we keep going. I know what
All
you're
right.
strong.
All right. I don't want you strong. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm going to play some exit music. If you can hang out for a second, so we can say goodbye personally. But here's
All
Pop Wrestling Podcast. You have it. It's Samu. We thank Samu for his time. We thank Samu for his stories and the legacy he leaves behind. And he's got his son. Watch out for his son. He's coming through NXT soon. Keep an eye
right.
on the, huh?
Lance Anoa'i.
Lance Anoa'i. There you go. So thanks you, Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. We're always for life.